Welcome to the Old Mission Boat Company's construction videos for the Boardman 14. In this video, I will show you how to stitch the bow curve and construct the bow using the liquid stitch method. After you steam bend the bow curve, which is in section 9 of your manual, you should wait about 30 to 45 minutes for the moisture to evaporate out of the wood before stitching the bow curve. When you release the steam bending clamps, you will see that the bow curve will spring open slightly, which is common with any steam bent wood, but it will easily pull back into shape as you stitch it to the center longitudinal. Be sure that the center longitudinal is completely vertical before you stitch the bow curve. Gently push the bow curve back and hold it in contact with the front edge of the center longitudinal. Make sure the very tip of the bow curve lines up with the front edge of the longitudinal frame. Apply the glue along the entire curve from the very tip down to where the curve stops. Apply the stitch on both sides of the center longitudinal and follow the stitches with a spray of the activator. You are now ready to pull the side panels together and form the bow. If your kit came with the extra long shear clamps and they extend past the bow, cut the extensions off flush with the front edges of the side panel. Now pull the side panels in until the shear clamps touch the center longitudinal and use a couple spring clamps to hold the bow together. You can see that the bow will not close completely yet because the inside corners of the shear clamps need to be trimmed to form a bevel. Use a straight edge to draw a line on top of the shear clamp, starting at the inside edge of the side panel and running straight back parallel to the center longitudinal. Now use a small handsaw to cut the inside corner of the shear clamp off. Be sure the saw cut runs down the front edge of the inside face of the side panel. You are now ready to stitch the bow together. Before you begin to stitch the bow, complete the stitching of the sides to the bottom panel starting at frame number 4 and working up to the bow. Now open up the side panels just enough to place stitches along the seam where the sides contact the bow curve. You won't be able to get the CA glue bottle all the way down into that section, so just hold the bottle above the seams and let the CA glue run down along the inside of the joint. Follow that with a spray of the activator. Now place CA glue along the edges where the side panels contact the center longitudinal, and be sure to place glue on the inside surfaces of the shear clamp bevels where they contact the center longitudinal. Use spring clamps to hold the assembly together and spray the stitches with activator. Allow the glue to set up for a couple minutes before releasing the spring clamps.